Hello. So today's story is called The Girl with a Mind for Math, the story of Ray Montague. Again, it's another scholastic book, and it came in a pack of the other ones. So I'll be reading those. I read one yesterday. They're really great books, and I love it because not only is it about a girl in math, engineering, which unfortunately we don't hear enough of, and girls are always told they can't do math, but also because it's again another story of a young African American girl who pretty much went against all odds to fulfill her dream and be successful and a trailblazer for change. There's one part in here I just want to preface it by saying that I was reading this last night to my son Owen, and he and I had a discussion because at one point someone says, "Don't worry your pretty little head," or something like that, and then she talks about it being an insult, and he said, "Well, why is that an insult?" Well, sometimes insults are like under the radar. Sometimes you aren't quite sure it's an insult, but the person who said it was being insulting. And what he's trying to say in that point of the story is, don't worry, you're a girl and you're Black, so you're probably not going to need to worry about this. But she didn't listen, and I like that about her. She's got grit. The girl with a mind for math. If there's something you want but it seems out of reach, here's a story for you, a great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name of Montague. In a state we call Arkansas, one winter day, a baby girl was welcomed, a girl they called Ray. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential, her granddad was proud. He told her, work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd. Then, something she'd cherish, when Ray was just 7, he took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. A real submarine, her eyes open wide. Who made it, she asked, as they followed the guide. Engineers, said the man, giving Ray's head a pat. But my dear, you don't need to worry about all that. At the time, the man's insult went over her head. No, you can't, were the words he meant, but not said. Engineering, thought Ray, and her life's dream began. Except most people laughed when she told them her plan. Stay strong, said her mom. Use your brains, you'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind. Just because you're a girl and because you are Black, don't let them or the state of your school hold you back. You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. The Black and white students were kept separated. That's wrong, you exclaim. It was dismal, no fooling, and worst of all, white kids received better schooling. But Ray studied hard. She had grit taught herself. She was gifted in math and read books by the shelf. When the time came for college, she knew what to choose. She learned to build boats. But she got some bad news. Engineering's not taught to Black students, they said. Her heart hit the floor. I'll take business instead. She learned what she could, and she learned the rest later. Their rules were unjust, but that school wouldn't break her. Ray finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. I'm off to a place filled with history's greats, the capital city of all 50 states. Now, finding a job, it turned out that took time. She looked and she looked. Ray was not one to whine. Then, it must have been fate, at least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. The Navy, that's right. But hold on your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. So she watched as they worked and she learned every task, even studied computers by night in a class. Then her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. Ray did all of her work and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How? He exploded. From memory, said Ray, and with that got promoted. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people like him tried to make her feel small. Ray just held her head high, and she outworked them all. What next? From the White House, there came a command. The president ordered a ship. Make it grand. And quickly, he added, well, that didn't fly. All those planes would take engineers months to supply. Here's the thing about that. When designing a boat, there are thousands of measurements one needs to note. All those numbers take math, and that takes some time. Ah, but Ray had been working on something sublime. She took a deep breath. I can solve this, she said. I've come up with a system to do it instead. It'll draw the plans faster, she told them. Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer. No sweat. How long do you think that might take? What's your guess? Would it take her a month? Maybe weeks for success. Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine, but Ray finished in hours, just over 18. Her program had worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed. The engineers stunned. You did it, they cheered. And her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had in fact saved the day. The end? No, not quite. When Ray's ship was unveiled, only white men could go, and Ray's invite not mailed. Say what? You heard right. No invite abhorrible. In fact, some might say it was downright deplorable. Yet, Ray kept her cool, gave her best every day, and in time all her skills were applauded. Hooray! People learned of her work. Who's this Ray, they demand. When they met her, they stared. They expected a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many could not believe that a woman of color did all she'd achieved. Some even thought Ray was a maid, sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she'd say, "Bring me one too." All her humor and wit served her well through the years as she battled the hard times with laughs and not tears. And that boss in the Navy who'd been so unkind made Ray the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow, her fame picked up steam, and finally, at last, she accomplished her dream. That title she'd worked for, an engineer score. Now the world knows her feats. She is hidden no more. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance, rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit, and like Ray, propel straight to success. And I always like these books because they have a little note at the end by the person who the book's about. Dear reader, if you have a dream like I did, study hard and stay focused. Always remember that just because someone says you can't, that doesn't have to stop you. You might have to go in a different direction, and it might take you a little longer, but you can achieve your dreams. Ray Montague. And again, more about the interview with her. Another book everybody should have. Not only should you have in your own library if you have kids, but also you should have it in your school. I would say that almost all the books I have right now that I've been reading are books that every school library should have, every classroom library should have. And it's just important. We need to get the word out. If you don't have access to these books, find a way. Okay? All right. Thank you very much and have a good day.